I just finished putting the second coat of urethane on these ash nightstands that I built to match the bed. If you didn't see the video that I did on the ash dovetail bed, click the link in the description. But I wanted to build these ash nightstands to match the ash bed. I wanted a nice light blonde wood that really makes the Hail Navy accent wall pop. And so we went with the ash. Now you could have gone with pine, but pine is a softwood. And I really like the strength and the stability that a tight grain in the ash gives. So with the nightstands, I went with an ash plywood that really saved me time where I didn't have to glue up the boards. Now to hide the plies, I didn't want the plywood to be showing on the edge. I could have done an iron-on edge banding. But what I did was just 1-inch strips of ash around the edges and across the front edge of the bottom shelf. And I also have the plywood sides that I hide the end grain with by just having these 2x2 ash legs that come down. I pocket hold the plywood to the ash legs, and I also pocket hold the top to the 1-inch sides using the Kreg Pocket Hole Jig. Tell you what, the Kreg Pocket Hole Jig has changed how I build cabinets. So then once I had the 1-inch strips glued on there, then I sanded it down nice and flat. So you can't feel a lip where the plywood meets the 1-inch strips. Now I could have made an accent. Sometimes you'll see like a dark walnut as an accent strip around the edges. Didn't want that, I wanted it all to match. So I screwed it all together, sanded it down nice and flat, and then it came time to assemble it. Now what I want is it to be flush. 1/4 inch and 3/4 inch. Now we can sink our pocket holes. One down, 3 more to go. I assembled the shelf to the side walls. And then I laid out for the top, the positioning of the top. Now I had to take into consideration the drawer. I spaced the 2 sides and the opening of it for the drawer. We check it again and we've got clearance, so we're going to screw this side down. Now if you notice, the reason it took me so long to do this cabinet is because I really wanted to master the dovetail box. I'm fortunate in this area that we have the ability to purchase pre-finished, rounded, routed drawer sides. Then I learned how to do a half-blind dovetail. I tell you what, that was a chore, that was a pain. Whenever you go in, you see a cabinet and you open up a drawer and you see a dovetail, it's just a sign that that's a quality made product. I wrestled with the drawer slides and I finally got them to the point where they operate nicely. And I also took some solid ash and planed it down to the thickness that I would need for the front to have a nice flush with the legs drawer front. And instead of having handles, we could have had handles, but we just kind of like the look of this hand pull. I just cut in and shaped that pull opening, and then I routed it out so it has a nice edge all across the top. And then what you want to do is, anytime you have a sharp corner like this, you just want to break the edge with a piece of sand block. Now, truth be told, you don't have to have a tabletop router table, but if you do have access to one, it sure makes the edges a lot nicer and a lot quicker and a lot more consistent. You could use a hand router with a round over bit, or you could just sand it off. So I had some 90 grit sandpaper and I just broke the edges, broke the corners. You just want to break that edge, just so that when the drawer's open, it doesn't tear your skin open. Again, go with the grain. Now I'm using an oversized bit that is larger than the screw that I'm screwing the drawer to the drawer front. I'm doing that so that I can have some adjustment room up and down, side to side for the drawer front. Then I sand it down with some 120 grit, get it nice and flat. Now this is the point where you start to see it all come to fruition. With the first coat of finish, all the work, all the building, starting to see it come together. And this has been months in the works. Unfortunately. I mean, I could have knocked this out if I did this full time, but I really wanted to learn how to do the dovetails. And we're going to do 3 coats of the polyurethane with sanding with 220 grit in between. The reason why they call it tack cloth, because it's tacky. I'll have a link in the description to all the tools and all the products that I used in assembling this. For more helpful videos like this one, be sure to subscribe to Field Guided DIY and click the image on your screen now. I'll see you in the next video.